So I grew up in a waspy New England family, and what you do is, when you get older, is you get married and have kids. So I dated girls in high school, and I dated some girls in college, and then eventually the question of, do you have a girlfriend, was answered with yes, and her name is Patrick. And I don't know if there's something called a male biological clock, but about 8 years ago, I was in Central Park, and I saw a father and a daughter walking away underneath a tree, kind of silhouetted in the muted afternoon light. And I felt a tear on my face, and that was it. I knew I never thought twice about having a kid, even when I came out, so that's what I did. And like any good parent, I like to show off my beautiful 8-year-old extraordinary daughter. A little dramatic, I don't know where she gets that from. I like to show her off at dinner parties. So my husband and I recently were throwing a dinner party, and it was going to be this great night. The snow was falling outside the windows in our Logan Circle penthouse. I had put out the chips that don't break when you put them in the salsa. I had put some olives in a little bowl that I purchased on a whim in Amalfi. Yes, I just said Amalfi. And I curated a group of 10 people with overlapping interests to come to this party, and I was shaking up martinis, and everyone was kind of giddy, and even my daughter was a little giddy. Maybe she was getting a contact high from the martinis. And so one of the guests had asked her, oh, so you fly alone? Because she flies on the plane alone. And she said, yeah, it's so not a big deal. And so a musician friend comes late, of course, and he brings a guest who's uninvited. And we'll call him Jay. So I later found out Jay was his groupie. Who brings a groupie to a dinner party, right? So Jay has got shaved head. He's got a sweatshirt on with some holes in it. He's got a blurry tattoo. He's got some dirt underneath his fingernails. It was a look, but it wasn't necessarily a look for a dinner party. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. I shake some more martinis. He starts asking me questions. So he points at my daughter and he says, are you her real father? I said, yes. I said, well, where's her mother? Her mother's a friend of mine. We had her and we share custody. Does she have friends with gay parents? That one was a little weird. I was like, yeah. At least he didn't ask the question that everyone always wants to ask, which is, how did you do it? Which usually can be answered with 2 words, turkey baster. Anyway, so the evening goes on. My husband, Steve, goes out to grill. And by the way, just as an aside, it's great when you marry someone who used to be straight because they can grill and fix everything. It's fabulous. And my daughter goes into her bedroom to watch My Little Pony, which she claims she doesn't like anymore, but she's totally obsessed with. And he comes in with one more question. He says, so, since you and your husband are gay, does that mean you raise your daughter to be gay? Yes, Jay. Actually, we start out with the Work That Crib program, where the babies can choose the color scheme for their crib. Gingham was really in last year. And then eventually we teach them the basics as toddlers. Marc Jacobs, Marc Jacobs, Marc Jacobs. Eventually, they're singing cabarets. We teach them show tunes and Cher. And then, they end up running small companies like Apple and, changing the face of fashion and, basically saving the world. Go gay babies. I wanted to say, do you raise your baby Neanderthal? But, I thought maybe he's just a little geographically challenged, maybe, he's well-intentioned. So anyway, I didn't say anything, but the carrot that I was eating completely projectiled across the room, and I choked it out. And I picked up the carrot, and I tried to arrange my face in a normal way without screaming at the top of my lungs. And so the evening went on, and it was a little dampened. There was like a collective cringe, you know, when he said that. And there was some eye rolls at dinner when Jay wasn't looking. And so at the end of the evening, I go and Roan is asleep at this point. I move the hair out of her face, and I kiss her goodnight, and I turn on our turtle light. And I come out, and I look at the aftermath of the party. A single olive sharing the last sip of a martini, the candles melted into dolly sculptures, the little pile of butternut squash avoided by Jay. And I sighed and I shut off the lights. And then, of course, later, when I was in bed, 3 hours later, I realized what the answer to his question should have been. We raised them with love.